Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the after show for issue 6 of The Powers That Be. This one is called Brother versus Brother. As usual, we're going to go around and do our stars and wishes, and I think this time we're going to start with Ray. Ray, what do you got for us?
Hello. So, stars. What a world, Patrick. What a world. uh, Very nicely done integrating two plot lines, integrating imagery and characters to interact with. Had to do some history on the spot because I hadn't thought some things through. So that was fun. That was cool. And I hope that's not the last we see of Grendel. It kind of had the old, it had the old, like, I almost wanted to be like crashing, going, are we about to split a beer moment here and reminisce about old times? The hell is going on here?
Yes, if by split you mean he's going to, smash it in half.
Yeah, probably. Oh, right. So, and I just the troll and moles and oh dear Lord,
Yeah.
that was adorable. That was great. Wishes, I do have to say some of that seemed a little slow. It was very one character at a time. There was an interaction with one character. Tink with star for Tink. Holy crap, star for Tink.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody got to do something. That's another thing. Like we all got to be there. Everybody was involved. That was good, but it was dealing on a very individual level, and it just came off as a little bit on the slow side. But again, not it was well crafted. It was different. I like that it's different, not the same thing all the time. So it's these sessions are allowed to be different things, especially to do what you're trying to do in moving the plot and establish character, and you're juggling a lot there. So that's just my observations.
Okay. Next we will go to ECAT.
Yeah, I gotta say the star, it's split evenly between Tink and our illustrious GM, because scene stealing internet troll, totally, totally. And as far as wishes go, I kind of agree with Ray that it felt a little slow today, but we're getting back into several of us having hard past couple weeks, so just sometimes we just need a slow day.
Yep. Okay, let's go over to Magda.
I definitely felt spoiled today. For me, the star was definitely being able to use all of the the abilities that I haven't been able to use before, like the flying, and so I like it. It did feel like not whether or not it was by design, it was definitely a session that was very aimed at things that I can resolve. So, yeah, like it was a bit off balance, but I really enjoyed it.
And you should have.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, like I thought I love Troll, and Troll is gonna be my BFF, and we are going to stay up chatting all night. Like, I
So-
think he's going to be a wonderful asset to have, and I am definitely going to try to, like, not lose contact with him.
So if you would like, remember that you can, since he's as a contact, you can spend an experience point to have him as a contact on your sheet.
Okay.
Like guy who will answer the phone when you call,
Yes.
because you
And
fixed his darknet, and
yeah. And I send him fresh baked cookies on his birthday. All right. Yeah, you'll have to explain to me how to do that later, but yeah, I had a blast. And I loved that I was able to, like, use my abilities without having to acknowledge the whole superhero thing. Like, it's just, of course I'm gonna have a hoverboard. Why don't you have a hoverboard? And I'm just fixing the internet because that's what you do.
All right. We'll go to Julie.
So getting the backstory for more of the backstory for Ray was just absolutely awesome. I also really said it's expanding out the world, the fact that it's like, oh, there's some sort of underground kingdom. Okay. Full people and trolls. That's kind of what I'm kind of curious as to what else is living down there. To looking forward to being able to our escapades at the Hellbender Club, the next session. That ought to be fun. Yeah, yeah, there were times where kind of slowed down as focusing on one person or another and stuff. But yeah, sometimes that's so can be a good thing when, especially when some of us are having a hard time focusing because it's just
because focus issues happen.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought
If I hadn't
everybody
been able to, like, do all of this stuff, I would not have been able to focus at all today. So
yeah, but I think everybody just continue to show more of their character, both the personality and what they can do, which was awesome. Just it was just little moments here or there, which I really enjoyed. So,
Okay. Any wishes?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Okay. So for me, obviously, I will echo the star for Magda, because Tink spent the majority of the time in the spotlight today, and you handled it like a pro. It was fun. It was fun to watch. As you said, to watch Tink do all these things that still don't register as superpowers. I will offer, while I agree that the pacing was a little slow, as we've discussed before, I'm going to offer a little bit of an alternate viewpoint on the whole one character at a time thing. Yes, we all, each of us had some time more in the spotlight this time, but the fact that it was switching around, and that Crash got a chunk and Paw got a chunk and Black Eyes, everyone got that little bit of spotlight time, and then obviously again Tink got the majority for it. That is actually a masterful stroke on your part, Patrick, and I'll give you the star for that, because that's how we get a good ensemble cast show going. Is we each drift in and out of the spotlight across, not only from one episode to the next, but within a single episode. Again, a slightly different take on the slowness tack that I've noticed is, I think everyone needs to get a little bit of kind of at realizing when the scene is slowing down, and whether, Patrick, that means you kind of, kick us in the butt with the next bit of plot, or, when someone does something to try to get the story going, we all just kind of recognize it and go along with it. I think that'll help the pacing a lot. As far as wishes for the storyline, I am loving the fact that we're meeting, as Magda just said in chat, yes and is very powerful, and I would love to see us do more of that kind of improv skill stuff. I'm loving meeting all of the ancillary characters and the establishing the villains and whatnot. I personally am really looking forward to getting back to the main plot arc. Or if these things are all feeding into the main plot arc, then they're doing so like little tiny bits at a time. And I would kind of like to see just a little bit more, that next sweep of plot. Because I think one of the things that contributes to various scenes being slow is that we all look at it and go, okay, we don't know what to do next. And I think kind of getting caught up in a Whitewater Rapids ride of plot would probably help with that as well. And last but not least, our illustrious GM, Patrick.
All right. So my star for tonight will go to Ray, because he did a very good job with what I needed to happen at the beginning. And part of the reason why it started out moving very quickly is the brief discussion that he and Grendel had exposed exactly the things that I wanted to have brought across. Now, I'm not sure how much of it all of you will recall perfectly in the future, but I will be harping on the same things a few times. But for instance, take into the consideration, like, he gave a couple leading bits of information, like, you don't know yet, when he was talking about why the team collapsed and why he stopped working and all of that. So just keep that as a plot point to put for the greater thing. You are still making a lot of progress with the greater plot that's happening, but there's a lot of them, a lot of parts for the greater plot, because each of you has your part in it. So moving along, each person's personal plot moves along the overall one, and they all kind of intersect with each other. So with the wishes, yes, I need to work a bit better on the pacing. So it did drag on a bit because I was not entirely expecting the group to have separated itself. Like I joked in the beginning. So do you want to split the party up? Because you never split the party up. Let's just split the party up. But
I tried, man. I tried, and then we split up anyway. Damn it.
I was just Black Ice was being lazy. She just didn't want to go. So you know what?
Fair.
Thanks
That's
here.
fair.
I'll stay here.
That's fair.
So, like, one of the things with the pacing is that I do pay attention to who has an off week, so I can focus on them a bit more the next. Just to kind of balance things out and make sure that people get their chance to do cool things. And sometimes the cool stuff just happens by accident. Like I present a thing to the group and one person focuses on it, which is great. But then I just have to remember, okay, well, next time I'll try to lean something towards in a different direction. Like I wasn't certain how you guys were going to approach this, because like the basic plot thing, of course, is that the moles were contracted by the troll to build a tunnel to provide aeration for his overheating room. He forgot that he hired them to do it because it took them so long to get to it. They forgot what they were doing it for, so they just built this thing, forgot about it. It collapses in on itself. It does what it's supposed to. It's just nobody had done their job right, because sometimes the best thing is just people who are incompetent, because that just makes life all the much better. Nobody likes a hero who's perfect. They like one who's really stupid and still manages to make it through. Also, I tried to focus a bit more on differentiating the voices between people during conversations. So hence, like the trolls cadence is very simplified, kind of stupid English, and the moles, I worked on having a bit more of a nasally voice, but I'm practicing on that. So I can
tell that was cool, because I remember doing that, and it's like, and I was like, who was it? I actually had to look it up. It's like, oh gosh, John Ratzenberger in the end of The Incredibles.
Yep. And my brain immediately went to Grimlock and Wheelie from the original 1980s Transformers movie.
Yeah.
'Cause that was the image that I had in my head.
Yeah, like the
So,
voices matched perfectly.
Thank you. So, so my wish for next time and for future things is, let's see. Yeah, basically just help also with the keeping the plot rolling along. The one thing to remember is, and something that I'm liking where it's going. So my wish is partially just to keep working on this, is to focus on building up your own character's backstory and what their personalities like and whatnot. Like, I very much like the fact that Tink doesn't think she's a superhero. She's doing more and more insane stuff as it goes along, and she's like, what, anybody can do that, I just built it, come on. Whereas like Ray is dealing with like this really complicated past that he has, and the fact that things are still not like hence the reason I threw in like his power has an interruption while he's in the middle of flying, barely makes it out of that, which just to keep pushing the thing of it's still not working right. There's something's going wrong with him, and ultimately the thing that'll fix it is kind of referred to as character development as he builds up more powers and stuff. These are things that are now starting to happen that weren't happening before, and so part of how I have to determine what's going on with him is what abilities and stuff he picks up as his character levels up. So, and so I'm very glad that everybody's picking up things of like Paw is very much a cat girl leaning heavily on the cat side, so she behaves like a cat a lot of the time, which works. Like, it makes sense that she was the one to leap over and grab Nevada because she's a cat. Something moved quickly, and so she'll go paw it. Oh, hey, I caught you. May not even realize what she was doing until it was done. So I'm very much appreciating that, and so like my wish is that we keep on working on that, keep thinking about how your characters behave, why they act like they do, where they're going from where they are now, and where they came from, which is going to be important. And I will be hitting everybody with horrible stuff out of your past. Don't worry about that.
Excellent.
I have a list.
Because really, that's the way that Crash gets XP, because the rest of you can't give it to me. So, which I'm liking that, because it actually, that kind of reinforces the fact that I don't have to play nicely or as nicely with the rest of you. It kind of gives just that tiny little bit of game mechanic reinforcement to that. That being said, I'm planning on basically I'm probably going to ditch that descriptor probably at the beginning of tier 2. That seems like a reasonable place to do it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Pick up something that is still relatively similar, but we'll see. But no, I'm liking that. I did, Patrick, I did very much appreciate the little the little we'll make a good person out of you yet dig at the end.
Yes.
Because I think Crash is at the point now where he knows it. He just doesn't want to accept it. Because
it's that he does something nice and he feels good, and he feels bad about feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still want to go back and take that money from the jeweler.
Yes.
That was brilliant, because I as a player had forgotten as well. So the fact that you pointed that out was perfect.
Yep. That's my job.
Yep. But no, I'm very curious. Again, I will say I'm very curious to see where everything goes from here.
So does anybody have anything that they are hideously confused about?
I mean, like, other than using my character sheet.
Yeah, I was gonna say not as far as storyline goes. There's still some game
Okay.
mechanics that
And
not sure about.
Yeah, if anyone wants wants to work on that stuff, let me know, and we'll find some time to come on Zoom and Roll20 and just do a tutorial or what have you. Also, the Cypher system rules primer is now available on Roll20, so that should be yes, if you go into the compendium tab in Roll20, which is the one with the eye in the dark circle, and you click on rules, you will actually get to the stuff that was published in the Cypher system rules primer. so you can look through that and for like actual system rules. For things in Roll20, obviously that's a bit different, but okay. So anyone else have anything they want to bring up before we call it a night? All right, hearing none. For those of you out there in internet land, thank you very much once again for tuning in. Really, I promise we plan on being back here 2 weeks from tonight. I really hope it happens because I don't think we can handle any more attacks of life. So anyway, for Patrick, Ecat, Magda, Julie, and Ray, I am the Vitruvian Meeple. Good night, everyone.